Then it is necessary to show that God knows the thoughts of the mind and the intentions of the heart. For everything that exists in whatever way is known by God, inasmuch as he knows his own essence, as was shown above. Now there is a certain being in the soul, and a certain thing in things outside the soul. Therefore God knows all such differences of being, and what is contained under them. But what is in the soul is what is in the will or thought. It is therefore left that God knows those things which are in thought and will. Further, thus God, by knowing his own essence, knows other things, just as effects are known by knowing the cause. Therefore God knows all things, knowing his essence, to which his causality is extended. Now it is extended to the operations of the intellect and the will. For since everything operates by means of its form, from which there is some being of the thing, it must be the fountainhead of the whole, from which also every form is, the principle of all operation, when the effects of secondary causes are reduced to primary causes. Therefore God knows the thoughts and affections of the mind, again, as its own being is the first, and thereby the cause of all being, so its understanding is the first, and thereby the intellectual cause of all intellectual activity. Therefore, just as God, by knowing his own being, knows the existence of anything, so by knowing his understanding and will, he knows every thought and will. Still, God not only knows things according to what they are in themselves, but also according to what they are in their causes, as is clear from what has been said above. For he knows the order of the cause to its effect. But artificial things are in the artificers through the intellect and will of the artificers, just as natural things are in their causes through the virtues of the causes. For as natural things assimilate their effects to themselves through their active virtues, so the artist through the intellect introduces the form of the artificial, by which it is assimilated to his art. And the same is the case with all things that are done by purpose. Therefore God knows both thoughts and wills. Again, God knows intelligible substances no less than he or we know sensible substances. Since intellectual substances are more knowable, for example, they're more actually existing. But the information and inclinations of sensible substances are known both by God and by us. Since, therefore, the thought of the soul is through a certain information of itself, and affection is a kind of inclination of his towards something, for we also call the very inclination of a natural thing a natural appetite. It is left to God to know the thoughts and affections of the heart. And this is confirmed by the testimony of the Holy Scriptures, for it is said in the Psalm, God searches hearts and minds. Proverbs 15:11. Hell and destruction before the Lord. How much more the hearts of the children of men? John 2:25. He himself knew what was in man. Now the dominion which the will has over its acts, by which it is in its power to will or not to will, excludes the determination of the power to one, and the violence of an outwardly acting cause. But it does not exclude the influence of a superior cause, by which it is able to be and to act. And so causality remains in the first cause, which is God, with respect to the motions of the will, so that God, knowing himself, can know such things.